This person is a titan in AI. He's a really, really big name in artificial intelligence. And he has been on Joe Rogan, on London Reels, and also on Lex Friedman. Now, why would you care? You should care because he allows you to invest in his projects. He allows you to participate in his success. Now, how well did those investments do? When you look at his main project, it made 27% in just the last week. 27% in just 1 week. The person that I'm talking about is Dr. Ben Goertzel. He released a multitude of AI crypto tokens, all with pretty impressive success. Now you want to watch until the end of the video because I'm going to share what I am actually going to buy. I'm not going to buy his main coin. I'm going to look one layer below this and look at something that maybe has more upside potential. Now let me tell you a story how I actually came across all of this, because Ben Goertzel is definitely not a large name within the crypto community. So of course we want to look at AI and ChatGPT because this is where currently the attention is. The idea is always you want to place your money where currently the eyeballs is, right? The more eyeballs on a certain asset, the higher the price potentially goes, right? Attention equals price appreciation. And when we simply just look at the search volume of ChatGPT versus Bitcoin, it's almost 4 times as large as Bitcoin in the last month. People are really searching for AI. People are really searching for ChatGPT. And you want to make money from this simply by combining crypto with AI. And this is what Ben Goertzel is doing. And so what I did is, right, I simply just looked at CoinMarketCap. I looked at the category over here, AI and big data. And I looked at what is actually being offered. And the largest of the AI tokens is Singularity Net. Right? There is also the graph. It's apparently a bit larger, but the graph is actually not focusing on AI. I've had a look at this before. So the really AI-focused token, the largest one, is Singularity Net. It's at place 80. So it's the 80th largest crypto token, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that large, right? 79 crypto tokens larger than this, and currently there's this big wave on AI. So Singularity Net in itself might already have quite a bit of upside versus its downside. Now it already went up quite a bit, right? This is by no means something that's completely dormant. I mean, if you've got a founder that has been on all of these podcasts, of course, this does help with performance. It went up from roughly 17 cents to currently 41. And so before buying anything, right, I always do my research, because research and knowledge equals alpha, equals outperformance. And where do you start your research? You started obviously in YouTube. And this is what I did as well. I looked at YouTube and found this Singularity Net channel. And this is not impressive at all, right? We see 300 views over here, 700 views over here. It's 24,000 subscribers, the same as this channel over here. It's not really a huge thing yet. And so I looked further and found this talk over here by the COO of Singularity Net. Now, I don't just want to watch this kind of video, right? You want to get the background of these people. So you jump to LinkedIn, you find it, Janet Adams. She has been with Singularity Net for roughly 2 years. Now, this is also not too impressive. She has been an AI freelancer, has worked for banks, and has worked as head of conduct. So basically compliance-related work. How is this really related to artificial intelligence? Then you continue digging. You see, okay, there's currently 87 employees on LinkedIn. So this sounds already relatively legit, right? If you've got a few employees, it's not just a random scam coin. If you then continue and you look at the CEO, this is where it becomes interesting. Ben Goertzel. He has been with Singularity Net for 6 years, and he has been working on OpenCock for 15 years so far. Now, still, my very first impression of this founder was not too positive. This looks like a guy living with his mommy in the basement, right? Having Star Wars stuff on his night table. Not really sure what to think about this, right? Do you really want to trust your money to a person like this? But then came the big revelation where I thought, hey, there's something behind this. He has been on Joe Rogan, as mentioned. He has also been on London Real. And here comes what I think gives us really credit. He has been on Lex Friedman. And Lex Friedman has an AI background from NIT. And he made a 4-hour interview. Right? A 4-hour interview about a person working in AI, about a person that has a crypto token, which is only at place 80 in terms of market cap. And during this interview, they were already talking about OpenCock. They were talking about SingularityNet and the whole idea behind this. So this was, in the end, almost a sales pitch for this altcoin. It didn't catch up at the time, but it might be catching up now. It is actually, in fact, currently with momentum catching up because of all the AI hype. Now, why did Lex Friedman interview Ben Goertzel? It's because of his long history. Ben Goertzel helped to popularize the term artificial general intelligence. And what's AGI? It's the idea that artificial intelligence gets, in the end, human-like capabilities, that it can almost outsmart humans, right? And how would Ben Goertzel achieve this? How would he achieve this with SingularityNet? The idea is that you want to connect different artificial intelligences. You want them to talk to one another. You want to create a marketplace where different artificial intelligence programs can then be traded, where they can be consumed, and where they can talk to one another. Now, why is this so important? Because different artificial intelligences do different things. For example, for the captions in this video, right, they have been generated using AI, using YouTube's AI, right, from audio to text. Then you've got the text input where you can use, for example, ChatGPT to give you some kind of an answer. And then you also have got text output, right, from text to speech. That's also AI. So simply just from this simple example, right, understanding speech, generating a response, and then converting this back into speech, you already have 3 different AIs that have to talk to one another. And the more AIs you potentially combine, the more complex and the more capable potentially a system can get. That's in the end the whole idea. Now we've got SingularityNet and we've got its token. And we've also seen quite a bit of price appreciation. And I want to show now how much actually growth of investors or holder growth of a token impacts price, because this is somewhat counterintuitive. What we see over here is this AGIX token, right? This is the SingularityNet token. And we see quite a steep increase of numbers of holders since November of 2022. So it went from 32K to roughly 42K, right? So roughly a 33% increase or so in the number of holders. Now, do you think that the price also went up by 33%? If you think that, you are very, very wrong, because you don't yet understand the leverage effect within crypto. You don't understand how liquidity pools lever prices. The tighter a liquidity pool is, the more its price can appreciate when new people enter the space. And so look at this, right? This is a 10x. So the number of holders only increased by 1/3, but the price 10x'd. And that's the kind of opportunities that we are looking at. We are looking at projects that can at least grow their holder base by 1/3, that can maybe even double it. And that's then where the multiple X returns come from. Now, SingularityNet as a token might already be somewhat interesting because it is still relatively small. It's at place 80, but still, I'm always interested in the second layer. I'm looking at the real upside. I'm looking at the even smaller coins where all the Singularity.net money might then swap into. And for that, we want to look at the ecosystem that's also supported by Ben Goertzel. And this is the ecosystem page. We've got Singularity DAO, of course, a decentralized autonomous organization. We can scroll through all of those. What I found interesting and what also gets quite a bit of promotion by the COO is NewNet. NewNet has a token in itself. A lot of these projects have their own tokens, but NewNet solves a real AI problem. And the AI problem is computational power. Now, you might have heard this from ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT got a huge investment from Microsoft. It got billions and billions of dollars in order to pay for its computational requirements. So ChatGPT is powered now by Microsoft Azure, by the computing power of Microsoft Azure. And the reason you need all of this computing power is because there's simply so many parameters that go into determining the answer for ChatGPT, for example, right? When you ask a question in ChatGPT, the answer actually gets generated on the fly, right? It adds bit by bit. It completes the response as we go. And this is simply just loading so slowly because you have to do so much computation. Now, NewNet is trying to solve this issue not by being reliant on a huge data center, like, for example, Microsoft Azure, but by being reliant on decentralized computing. So if you've got your tablet laying around, if you've got your phone laying around, you can provide computing power to the cloud that's being used by artificial intelligence, and you in return get compensated with the NewNet token. And so by building this, Singularity Net becomes independent from big tech, but still gets the computing power. That's the whole idea. And this is where I think the real opportunity lies. When we look at the NewNet token relative to ETH, we see a similar increase. We see 700% increase so far since January of this year. So by no means are you going to jump here on something that has been discovered by nobody. But on the other hand, you also have something that currently has positive momentum behind it. What I find interesting around the NewNet token, or the NTX token, is it's still very, very small. It can easily grow from here by 30% in terms of holders. How many holders are there for NewNet currently? 7,000 only, right? Remember the numbers that we had before for Singularity Net? It's currently at 42. So growing 10,000, right? Growing by 10,000 holders pushed up the price by 10x. NewNet only has 7,000 holders so far. The market rank is currently at 418. It's way, way smaller. It has way, way more upside potential. It's probably not going to become larger than Singularity Net in itself, but it is a pretty central part of the ecosystem, and it could very much grow further. Now, a big disclaimer here, right? This is an altcoin that's hyper risky, and this could crash as well very easily, right? If it simply just goes to the prior levels at the beginning of the year, it goes down by like 90%. So by no means is this a safe investment whatsoever. But I decided the risk versus reward is somewhat justified here. This is not just pump and dump. There is a real big charismatic person behind this, similar to Cardano, where we've got Charles Hoskinson. Here for Singularity Net, we've got Ben Goertzel, and we invest in something that's second layer, that doesn't have a lot of attention yet, and that might, given that the current AI trend is still intact, right? It's still positive. It might get way more holders. So I personally, right, complete disclosure, I personally put $500 in this. I also told my premium members that I'm buying the NewNet token before publishing this video. So the price appreciation that you see over here, this is before it was obviously shared with the premium members. I first published this in the premium membership, and then 12 hours later, this gets live here on YouTube. Simply just for full disclosure, I don't think that the few people, we have around 100 people in the premium membership, I don't think that they are going to move the price massively, but they might have some kind of an impact. The $500 that I put in here probably doesn't move the needle whatsoever. But simply just want this to be 100% clear with you. We obviously do have a vested interest that the price continues to rise. That being said, I don't think this is a Bitcoin whatsoever, right? This is backed by some of the biggest names, by the titans in the AI space. And he might not be as popular yet in crypto land, but this could change very soon. And that's then when I see Singularity Net and NewNet taking off. I already mentioned the premium membership, though there's going to be a video explaining this right after this. Premium means you have to pay. If you don't want to pay, you can also join our Telegram group. So for that, simply look over here. There is Bitcoin Strategy channel. Simply search for that within Telegram and feel free to join us there. You can also ask me any questions. I'm regularly over there. Looking forward to see you on Telegram and of course in the next video. Bye-bye.